Hello, and welcome to Tea and Tarot. I'm your host, Em. In this podcast, we dive into the world of tarot each week, along with a cup of tea. Some weeks, we dive into readings, others into the cards themselves, and some we explore learning about the tarot. This week, we're diving into one of the biggest frequently asked questions I get. Why should someone read tarot cards in the first place? There are a lot of myths and misunderstandings out there about tarot, so I want to dispel some of those and make a case for why tarot can be a useful tool, even if you don't ascribe any supernatural powers to the cards themselves. As I promised, let me introduce this week's tea before diving into our topic. This week, I have prepared myself a cup of Honey Rooibos. You'll quickly learn that Rooibos is one of my favorite teas and that I have way too many variations on it. Rooibos, from South Africa, is growing in popularity lately, and it's a great tea to drink any time of the day because it's completely caffeine-free. It's naturally sweet, and the honey version is amazing. It's easy drinking, it's sweet, and it really balances out Rooibos' more mellow notes. I thought it would be a great tea today as we chat about why you should read tarot. So, first off, let's get a few things out of the way. Tarot cards are not a supernatural force that can predict the future or make things happen through magic or spells. I understand that there are practices that focus on that side, but my belief is not like that. Now, I'm not saying that any of us are necessarily right or wrong when it comes to tarot. It is personal, and you should really approach it with how you feel most comfortable. In my stance, they're just cards with images on them. I don't believe that they're inherently linked to any sort of deviation or occult practices, despite that being a key part of their history. Additionally, reading tarot does not require any sort of psychic abilities or sixth sense. It's really just a creative framework for exploring ideas, possibilities, and your own intuition. You don't need any special powers beyond using your own observational and reasoning skills. So, why read tarot then? If tarot cards don't have mystical powers, why would anyone bother reading them? I find tarot to be an incredibly useful tool for self-reflection, generating new perspectives, and having a meaningful inner dialogue with myself. The illustrations on each tarot card, depending on your deck, are dense with symbolism and archetypal imagery pulled from disciplines like literature, psychology, mythology, and many, many more. By meditating on these symbolic pictures, you are tapping into your own intuitive interpretations and personal associations with the symbols. It sparks your imagination and intuition in ways that just logically thinking about something may not. Essentially, tarot gives you a rich visual vocabulary to explore your thoughts, feelings, desires, roadblocks, and more in a right brain, holistic kind of way. For me, as someone who is incredibly analytical and logical, this really helps sort of short-circuit my analytical side and helps me open up more to my emotional and creative insights. On a practical level, many people use tarot as a focusing tool when working through some tough decisions, personal development goals, recurring patterns or obstacles, and so much more. The spread of cards becomes a visual map to orient your thoughts and have an inner dialogue. For example, doing a 3-card past, present, future spread can help you reconsider how past events might be influencing your current mindset or behavior, and how present choices could shape your trajectory going forwards. Just that basic prompt for self-inquiry can be really enlightening. Or you could use tarot as a brainstorming tool when you're feeling creatively blocked. This evocative imagery on the cards can really break you out of your usual thought patterns and creative ruts by injecting new symbolic ideas for you to sort of riff off of. For me personally, tarot has been a fun way to get more in touch with my intuition, shake up my perspective, and connect with my emotions and drives on a much deeper level. I don't think the cards themselves hold any power, but the process of reflecting on the archetypal symbols through my own subjective lens is really powerful in its own right. I've used tarot for periodic self-coaching, check-ins, working through creative blocks, making sense of reoccurring patterns or emotions, and so much more. The cards don't give me answers per se, but they provide me a visual launching point to freely explore my thoughts, feelings, and intuitions in a fresh way. It's like having an insightful series of prompts for journaling, meditation. I find the overall process both insightful and centering. It gets me out of the overly analytical headspace that I have and into a much more holistic one. If you approach it with like a really open yet grounded mindset, I truly believe that tarot can be a useful tool for self-discovery, introspection, and personal growth. So that's my case for why you may want to give tarot a try. Even if you're a total skeptic of the metaphysical and occult associations, at its core, it's simply a visual and symbolic focusing tool to tap into your intuition and facilitate self-inquiry. Pretty neat, in my opinion. And do let me also add that if you are into the occult and metaphysical side, that's great too. Don't be put off by my thoughts and approaches to it, as you are just as valid as I am in your approach. At the end of the day, I believe that the cards help us center ourselves and reflect. So, let me know if you have any other burning tarot questions, and I'll try dive into them in future episodes. So thank you for joining me on today's episode. If you enjoyed today's discussion, please do subscribe or find me on social media. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, stay curious, stay grounded, and keep learning.